Hey everyone, welcome back into this series where we talk about how to find winning bets in sports betting. And we're back to give you an introduction to talk about a different angle this time, and that's called second order arbitrage. So let's get into it. So, at a high level here, and similar to what we talked about with information arbitrage, the punchline is that you are betting based on a price difference that you've observed elsewhere. And also assuming that the book that you are betting at will inevitably update their pricing models and adjust the lines accordingly. So, and how this strategy differs from information arbitrage, generally speaking, is that instead of betting into a true market like sides, totals, money lines that may be subject to price discovery, you are betting on things that are correlated to the breaking news. Let's break this down further and talk about what first order versus second order means. So, first order arbitrage would be, for an example, if Nikola Jokic gets ruled out, you would then bet against the Nuggets on the money line or the spread as a first order arbitrage. Whereas second order arbitrage involves not only the knowledge of Nikola Jokic being out, but your omnipotent knowing ball and maybe your advanced knowledge of the Nuggets' tendencies to bet other player props before the books adjust their lines. So let's dive into that example even further now. So as of this video, Jokic is averaging 26.1 points per game. Let's skip over the fact that player props are set using median lines and not averages, but that's for a different video. Okay, well, if you have the knowledge now that Jokic is ruled out for the game, you know that all, or at least most of those points that he is averaging needs to be redistributed somewhere amongst the rest of the players. Because again, let's not forget that first order markets like sides, totals, money lines, those are the lines that are going to be the first to update when star players or breaking news hits the cycle. The second order stuff and the stuff further down the betting menu, alternate player prop lines, derivatives, etc., those are the ones that are set using the pricing models and theoretically are slower to update. So in the NBA, for example, having knowledge or at least being aware of player usage stats will be advantageous for you when talking about this angle. Now, again, this is meant to be an introduction to this angle. No such thing as a foolproof method, right? But let's break down the pros and cons of using second order arbitrage. Number one, this method tends to have you bet player overs, which broadly speaking is good for account health because most recreational bettors bet overs, they don't bet unders. And I sort of mentioned it earlier, but the second pro of this angle is that first order bets, think sides, totals, money lines, are the ones that are going to be updated first by the sports books and their content providers when breaking news hits the cycles. It's the second order bets, alternative player prop markets, various derivatives that are going to be theoretically delayed. And the delay might only be a few minutes, but those few minutes can be precious and allow you to get in these second order arbitrage bets. So that leads me into the cons of this angle. One of the downsides is that you do still need to be dialed in to the breaking news. So that's making sure you're following the appropriate parties on Twitter or where else on social media. Because if you're not dialed in and you happen to see a tweet about Jokic being out 8-9 minutes later after it was posted, you theoretically might be too late. And the second con to this angle is sort of twofold. First being that you generally need a little more knowledge or insight of a certain player or team and their tendencies in order to bet this angle profitably at a consistent rate. You largely may be wrong about how teams or how coaches might split up minutes when a star player goes out. So having an understanding of usage and knowing particular team tendencies when these injuries happen is going to be vital. And on top of that, it's not uncommon to know or to see that break-even percentages for player props tend to be higher. So instead of your typical minus 110 at 52.4% break-even, you might often see a minus 115, which is a 53.5% break-even, or even sometimes up to minus 135, which is a 57.4% break-even percentage. If you're confused about the numbers I just threw out, just know that you need to get these bets right more often in order to be profitable. So as we discussed with information arbitrage generally, this is an angle too that will ideally work best if you are selective and refine the strategy. So if you are dialed into one or two particular teams, whether it's in the NBA, NFL, what have you, you might be a little more dialed in to the nuances of coaching tendencies, player usages, etc., that might give you bettable knowledge. So something to keep in mind next time you're thinking about second order arbitrage. Okay, hopefully that was a quick and dirty introduction into this winning angle, second order arbitrage. Let us know if you guys have any questions or comments in the chat below. And as always, hope this helps and good luck.